Okay, so last week, so we already discussed about the data types, okay, and data definition directives. So you guys have any question regarding those topic? So we have DD, DT, DQ, all right. So you should be able to distinguish between those directives. Okay. So any question before we start? Okay. So we have discussed about EQU, all right, DD, okay, DQ, all right. So DD is for double word, okay, where it is used, right? So you should know about all this because this will be covered in your test 2 soon, all right? So your test 2 will be in week 11, all right? So you have next week and then you have another week. So that's another week will be your test 2. Okay, so it will be in early January. All right, so okay, so meaning that if you have DQ, so it allocate, you should, so the difference between all of those is just between the size of memory that you allocate. So for DQ is a quad word, so you have one word, okay, one word uh, is two of the is 8 bit, all right. So it's 8 bit, so it's considered that, okay, you have, let's say for here, so this one, these two, all right, so covers for uh, one word. So this is for uh, let me go back a little bit. All right. So for example, so DD double word. So we have one word and then double is two. All right. So double. Okay. So one word and double. Okay. And then for DQ, so you have, this is double. Okay. So it will be double of that DD. So that will be a quad. Right. So it will able to accommodate up to 8 bytes. So one of these is 1 byte. Okay, so you have another one slot over here. All right, so it should be 8 byte. Okay, all right. So we have 10 bytes. All right, so I mean that this is a special because this is used for BCD. Okay, binary coded decimal. So it's like a binary number. You want to code it in the decimal, like base 10 number. Okay, all right. So this one, so it should be able to accommodate up to 10 bytes. So you can calculate from here. Okay, you boleh kira lah. Okay, ada 5. Okay, so ini dalam bentuk BCD. Okay, ini dalam bentuk BCD. But you need to convert, ingatkan, dia kena dalam bentuk apa ni, hex. Okay, so this one, you kena convert dalam bentuk hex and then baru you akan dapat whether it allocate 10 bytes or not. Okay, so how do you want to convert? Okay, revise back. So what I have taught you last week. Okay, alright. So itu berkenaan yang kita discuss about last week. Okay, now we going to look into the real programming. Okay, in the real programming. Okay, so we look at, so you have this register. Okay, this register. So you have at 1066. So that's the head of the physical address. All right, so you have the offset address over here. Okay, it is 2591. Okay, 2591. So 2 in terms of your S key, right? In terms of your S key is 2 is 32. All right, 5 is 35. Okay, and 9 is 39. All right, so you should remember the table. All right, the table of the S key. All right, and then 31. Okay, and then the next line you have, my name is Joe. Okay, MY. Okay, This is for M, Y, and 20 is always, remember that that's for space. Okay, M, Y, N, A, M, E. So name, okay, space, right? And then you have is, IS. Okay, 9 is I, 73 is S, and 20 you have another space, and then Joe, all right? 4A, 6F, and 65. Okay, so that how it is translated into the hex numbering. Okay, all right. If you don't have anything over here, all right. So if you don't have anything, okay, but this one you leave it. Okay, you fill it with the uh, one, right? With the one. Let's say you previously did that. Okay, so you become F F F F F F F F, right? And then this for C C C C C, so it's 63. And then you have here, what you have is a double dot. So you have double dot is BA, okay, and then you have um, 03 54, okay. So you have here BA, okay, BA, all right. And then over here, you look that BA03 54, okay, that's refer to a different one, okay. So BA double dot, okay, and 03 is a dot, okay. 54 is T, okay, is T, all right. And 09, okay, 09, you have 3F, okay. You have 3F and you have percent, okay. You have percent is 25, okay. So that's related to the symbol over there, okay. Okay, so maybe this one you already fill in, okay. So if you already fill in over here, let's say this one, so you might have, okay, so you might have this one is the, okay, why you have this one is 03 and 09, okay. So this is where it is previously filled, okay. It is previously filled, okay, with this I mean with this number, okay. So whenever you don't replace that register, okay, with um, that space, all right, or that location with a significant number or alphabet or other symbol, okay, so it will remain there, okay. So for example here, so original one over here, the location, the what we call the content over here is 03. So 03 is not replaced with anything. So what is replaced is just, okay, BA, okay, 54, all right, 3F, and then 25. Okay, and then you look over here as well. So this is also filled with number, but you don't notice anything is changed here. Okay, all right. Okay, all right. So that's similarly for other cases as well. All right, so you can look over there. Okay, for example, okay, let's check this one. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So this one at the dot over here, it is originally filled with 98, but it is not replaced with any digit or any alphabet. So the content is not replaced. So the content in this register still remain similar. So, maksudnya dia tak digantikan lah. So dia tak gantikan, dia akan remain with content yang sama. Okay, so kalau kat sini dia replace dengan 9. So dah jadi 29 lah. Okay, V ni is 56. C 43. Y is 79 and 6 is 86. Okay. Okay, so dia kata kat sini, all of the data directives use the little endian format. Alright, little endian format maksudnya dia akan follow daripada small to big. Alright, for ASCII data, only DB can define data of any length. Okay, use of DD, DQ or DT directives for ASCII strings of more than 2 bytes, okay, give an assembly error. Okay, sebab apa? Sebab DD kan untuk 4 bytes, okay, DQ untuk 8 bytes, okay, DT untuk 10 bytes. So sebab tu dia bagi error. Okay, so kalau you pakai DB, bolehlah. Alright, it's not a problem. Okay, so we look over here. Okay, so we have, okay, data 20, alright, at DQ, alright, and then 4523 C2. Okay, maksudnya data ni dah ada kat sini, alright. So sebab dia start dengan C2, alright, little endian, C2, 23 and 45. So start with C2, 23 and 45. Okay, and then is residing in a moment of starting at offset of 00C0. Okay, so dia kata, right, C2 dia start dengan C2, right, and then 23 and 45. Okay, bila DB digunakan, okay, it places them backwards in memory. Okay, 2591. Alright, 2591 dekat sini. Alright. So bila dekat sini at the origin of 32. Alright. 10H32. SQ42 is in the memory of 35. Okay, and 45 is in 11H. Alright. Sorry. In memory location of 10H. Alright. And then 35, okay, 45 in 11H and etc. Okay, maksudnya dia akan increment lah. So dekat tadi tu you ada ni kan, right? So dia start dengan 10. Okay, 10 with 32. Alright, and then at 11, okay, so dekat 10 ni dia boleh accommodate 2 lah. Alright, dia boleh accommodate 2. Okay, maksudnya 32 and 35. Okay, so dekat okay, SQ42 it is in numeration 10H. Okay, 35 45 in 11H. Okay, so kalau dekat sini dia akan increment. So you ada space kan from 10 to 20. So you ada 10, 11, 12, 13, okay, 14 up to 20. Okay, so you have that. Okay, yang kat sini you boleh pakai lah, alright. So maksudnya dekat sini dia akan refer 10 ni 32 and then 35 ni refer kepada 11, okay, and then 39 to 12, okay, and then 31 is 13, okay, and increment lah, okay, and increment after that. Okay, so untuk the segment definition, okay, so tadi kita dah discuss about the directives, okay, directives of the data lah. ada DQ, DT and so on. So kita dah tengok contoh dia, and then kita masuk kepada segment. So the segment and ends directive indicate that the beginning and end of a segment. Okay, so macam ni lah you nak label the segment. So you have options. Okay, place the segment belonging to this segment here. Okay, so yang ni description lah, you nak letak apa-apa description. Okay. So the label or name must follow naming conventions and be unique. Okay, the options give you important information to the assembler for organizing the segment, but it is not required. Okay, maksudnya option ni you boleh letak ataupun tak letak lah. Right? So maksudnya kalau you letak tak ada boleh. Alright, kalau you tak letak maksudnya you pakai yang default. Default punya ni lah, apa yang dah diprogramkan. Okay, the end label must be the same label as in the segment directive. Okay, in the full segment definition, the dot model directive is not used. The directives dot stack, okay, dot data and dot code are replaced by segment and ends directive that surround each segment. Okay, so maksudnya kat sini, kalaulah you letak dalam punya program dot stack, dot data and dot code, okay, benda ni semua kalau you letak segment tu, you letak directive segment, dia akan di-replace by the directive of the segment. So dia tak akan digunakan lagi lah, alright, stack, data and code ni. Maksudnya sebab apa dalam segment? Sebab you nak specify, maksudnya dalam segment tu you nak specify you gunakan memory, physical memory location yang sama. Okay. Okay, ni contoh dia. Alright, so kita tengok kat sini. Okay, name one segment. Okay, name one segment. Okay, dia ada DB. Okay, dia define byte 64. Okay, DUP. Alright, name one end. So setiap kali ada segment dia kena ada end. Okay, segment end. Okay, and then ni untuk stack segment. So you nampak kat sini dia dah tak pakai dot stack tadi. So dia pakai label segment saja. Okay, so ini digunakan untuk data segment. Name to segment dia kena ada name to ends. Okay, so setiap ada segment mesti ada end. Okay, and then untuk code segment, so inilah you bagian you punya code ke yang main yang running sepatutnya. Okay, so you compare yang ni dengan yang ni. Alright, so dia punya ni yang dengan yang ni is sama saja. Alright, yang ni you nak model the stack. Okay, so macam tadi you kena gunakan stack. Okay, and then dot data. Okay, and then dot code. Okay, macam segment, you nak gunakan segment, you kena namakan segment and then you kena letak end kat bawah. Okay, so this code and this code are replaceable. So you boleh guna mana-mana. Okay, so itu yang dinamakan dengan full segment definition lah. Okay. So kelebihan dia bila you gunakan full segment is dia lagi mudah lah. Okay, lagi mudah, lagi straightforward. Okay, sebab you tahu nak panggil yang mana. Okay, so sebagai contoh name tu you tahu dekat data. Okay, so you panggil je name tu ni. Okay, data daripada this segment. Okay, so macam dekat sini you kena letak alias data, ini maksudnya dia akan panggil apa yang you letak dekat data ni. Okay, and so on. Okay, ni contoh program 2 yang ditulis balik lah menggunakan full segment definition. Okay, so this one you can refer to the textbook. Okay. Okay. So, kita tengok dekat sini, dia ada stack segment. Okay, stack segment contains yang tadi tu. Dekat sini dia ada Okay, contoh kat sini is DB64. Okay, so dia reserve untuk start. Okay, reserve 64 bytes of memory untuk start. Okay, so the following 3 lines in the full segment definition are comparable to dot start 64 in simple definition. Okay, so maksudnya kalau you nak panggil this segment, okay, you kena panggil by this name. Okay, STSEG ni. Okay, so dot start 64 sama juga dengan command ni. Okay, sama juga dengan this command. Okay, so bila you nak letak segment, okay, you kena ingat you kena buka dan tutup. Buka tutup maksudnya ada starting dengan ending lah. Okay, and then kat tengah tu baru you masukkan apa yang you define. Okay, okay, in the full segment definition, the segment directive name the data segment and must appear before the data. Okay, the end segment marks the end of data segment. Okay, ni yang tadilah. Alright, so maksudnya directive name ni dia mesti kat depan lah before you define the segment itself. Okay, and then sentiasa dia ada dekat sebelum you define the segment, and then after you nak close tadi, okay, you nak end the segment tu. Okay, so samalah. Okay, untuk code directive as well. Okay, ini adalah untuk contoh code segment lah. Alright, code segment tu yang you punya main program. Okay, contohnya dekat sini. Code segment is this one. Okay, this one. Okay, this one is your code segment. Okay, okay, so benda ni benda yang sama sajalah macam program biasa, except that you kena open dengan okay, apa-apa nama, and then letak segment, and then you close apa-apa nama tu dengan ends. Okay, so yang lain tu tengah tu sama je dengan yang apa tu, yang dalam you pakai dot code tu. Alright, except that kalau you nak panggil, you kena pakai nama exactly as the nama seperti di atas lah, nama seperti yang you dah buat segment kat atas, not you panggil pakai alias. Okay, okay, so ini yang berkenaan tadi lah. Alright, okay, okay, so kita akan ni by next week. Alright, so we look into this assembly programming. Okay, this assembly programming, so kita akan try to code, right, menggunakan EMU 8086. Alright, so yang ini memudahkan lah compare to pakai the full assembler yang sebelum ni yang saya nyatakan berkenaan MESM tu lah. Alright, berkenaan Microsoft assembler. Okay, so yang ni lagi memudahkan sebab dia just actually you don't need to you don't need to follow directly, okay, the native, okay, the native assembly language. So this one, what you just need to do is just type out, okay, and write out your code, okay, using directly the way that we learn in this course. Okay, maksudnya kalau you pakai apa ni, segment and so on, so you just follow. Kalau you pakai yang MESM sebelum ni, you must kena initialize atas tu, you nak kena code dia punya file name and so on, so which is a little bit harder lah okay, to do. So we will try with a EMU 8086, alright, for this assembly language program. Okay, so you can go to download here, alright, so this one. Okay, so you can also see the tutorial. Okay, so you can try to code, you can choose any code, okay, from what we learned before. Okay, so you can try move, add, and so on. Can look and then what happens, okay, to your register. Okay, so bila you save your program .exe, it's like the program you punya Windows lah, right? So you can actually run straightly. Okay, once you assemble and then you can run straightly the file. Okay, so apa beza dia? Alright, so dalam bentuk segmen tadi dia ada exe and also .com. Okay, so apa beza dia? So exe ni, okay, it can be any size. There are occasion when due to a limited amount of memory, one needs to have very compact code. Okay, so dia tak ada limitation in size kalau you pakai exe, and but if for .com, okay, must fit in a single segment. Okay, so single segment maksudnya punya size cannot be larger than the segment size lah. Okay, so in the 86 processor, the segment size is 64k bytes. Okay, so the COM file cannot be larger than 64k byte. To limit the size to 64k requires defining the data inside the code segment and using the end array of the code segment for the stack. Okay, so maksudnya you nak limit size tu kepada 64k, so you kena define data inside the code segment tu, okay, kena define lah. Maksudnya you can define that one tak melebihi 64k, right? Maksudnya if you buat increment, okay, or you buat addition and so on, you must define that you punya data tu not more than 64k. Okay, so beza dengan exe file, the COM file has no separate data segment definition. Okay, so maksudnya sebab COM file ni dia dalam satu segment file sahaja. Okay, so dia berbeza lah dengan exe. Okay, dia kalau dalam exe you kena define separate data segment lah, so you kena define data segment yang berbeza-beza. Kalau COM ni satu je. Okay, so you don't need to declare multiple data segment. Okay, okay, the header block which occupies 512 bytes of memory precedes every exe file. Okay, it contains information such as size, address, location in memory, and stack address of the exe module. Okay, the COM file does not have a header block. Okay, so dia kena bagi tahulah kat mana and so on apa semua sebab dia contain multiple segment dalam exe ni. Okay, so itu beza dia lah. So COM ni dia tak ada header block lah. So header ni macam kepala surat lah. Contoh you bagi tahu you daripada mana and so on, alamat apa semua, macam kepala surat. So itu namanya header, right? So itu yang terkandung dalam exe modul lah, right? Okay, itu beza dia dengan exe dengan COM. Okay, jadi kita dah belajar berkenaan directive lah. Okay, directive and so on. Kita dah belajar macam mana nak code dalam assembly language. Okay, sebelum kita code, okay, kita kena buat structure lah untuk the programming. Okay, kita kena buat structure. Contoh dia program tu nak apa? Okay, kita nak buat program pasal berkenaan apa? Okay, contoh kita nak bagi tahu action. Okay, sepatutnya kita buat apa? Alright, contoh hari ini hujan. Okay, kita buat apa? Okay, so kalau hari ini hujan, okay, contoh Ahmad tak datang ke sekolah. Alright, yang kedua Ahmad datang ke sekolah. Alright, and then yang ketiga apa dia? Okay, contoh Ahmad tak boleh keluar rumah sebagai contoh. Alright, so kita kena structure. Okay, kita nak program kan, kita nak buat program, kita kena ada tujuan lah. Alright, kita kena ada tujuan untuk bagi tahu, untuk instruct komputer, alright, untuk bagi decision kat kita. Okay, Okay, so kita tengok beberapa jenis program sebagai contoh. Okay, so ni mungkin saya bagi tahulah. Alright. So dia panggil top down programming. Okay, kita ada data control is very important. Each subroutine should document its input and output variable. Okay, which input variables might be altered within it. Okay, so kita kena ada flowchart. Okay, so bila kita design, okay, design, contoh kita nak design satu eksperimen, mesti kita ada flowchart. Okay, apa yang kita buat pertama, step kedua, step ketiga, sampailah kita dapat result or keputusan or finding. Okay, so cara you nak design the flowchart, so you kena follow this one lah. So terminal ni is the input lah, apa input data yang you nak masukkan. Okay, and then proses dia, proses apa, you nak multiplication ke, you nak buat addition ke, okay, and then it comes to decision. Contoh value, certain value, you punya program dapat lebih dari 10, apa yang you nak buat. Okay, kalau kurang daripada 10, apa yang you nak buat. Okay, and then dibagilah decision. Okay, kalau 10 lebih daripada 10, maksudnya okay, Ahmad is a bad student. Alright, contoh tu bilangan 10 kali dia tak hadir ke kelas. Alright, kalau kurang dari 10 kali, so Ahmad is not a bad student. Alright, so sebagai contoh, you boleh buat that kind of program. Okay, an alternative to flowchart, pseudocode. Okay, so selain you gunakan flowchart, you boleh gunakan pseudocode. Okay, maksudnya you briefly tulis you punya code tu. Okay, you punya code. Okay, sequence is executing instruction after the other. Okay, so macam ni, okay, statement 1, statement 2. So yang ni dalam bentuk pseudocode. Okay, yang ni dalam bentuk flowchart. Okay, so ini cara you tulis pseudocode. Okay, so kalau ada condition, okay, condition lebih daripada 10 ataupun tak, yes or no. Okay, if contoh lebih daripada 10, then buat yang ni, else, okay, maksudnya else tu tak lebih daripada 10 lah, maksudnya yang lain. Okay, if dia follow, if lebih daripada 10, then buat apa, else, maksudnya kurang daripada 10, dia akan buat this statement. Okay, so itu beza cara you test. This is in terms of pseudocode, and then this one dalam bentuk flowchart. Okay, an alternative to okay, so yang this one if then. Okay, so if then ni dia tak ada else. Okay, tak ada else, maksudnya kalau lah you tak meet that condition, dia terus je pergi keluar daripada loop tu. Okay, okay, sebagai contoh dekat sini condition apa. Okay, kalau that number, okay, kalau number ni lebih daripada 10, you nak tambah lagi 10. Kalau tak, you biarkan je lah. Okay, you tak payah tambah 10. Right, condition, contoh you punya input A is equal to 1. Okay, condition dia kurang daripada 10. Okay, so dia akan pergi ke arah no ni. So no, dia akan exit lah. Okay, this dia akan exit this condition. Okay, kalau contoh A tadi sama dengan 11, okay, condition dia okay, kena lebih daripada 11, lebih daripada 10, yes. Okay, yes, so dia tambah 10. So dia akan bagi input ni jadi 21, for example. Alright, so ini cara tulis dalam flowchart, and then ini cara tulis dalam pseudocode. Okay, so ada satu lagi, repeat. Okay, repeat ni sama dengan while punya condition, while loop. Yang tadi kita panggil dia if else. Okay, repeat ni maksud dia akan repeat selagi value tu tak meet, dia akan buat je sehinggalah dia meet. Okay, sebagai contoh, adakah value ni melebihi 10? Kalau tak melebihi, dia kena tambah 1. Okay, dia check lagi. Okay, contoh A is equals to 3. Ditambah, so dia tak meet, okay, dia tambah 1. So sekarang jadi 4. Okay, dia check. 4 ni adakah lebih dari 10? Tak. So dia tambah lagi. So dia repeat the condition. Tambah sampai dapat 10. Adakah lebih daripada 10? Okay, tak. Okay, tak lagi. Tambah lagi 1. Adakah lebih daripada 10? Yes. Kan jadi 11. Okay, and then dia akan follow lah. Dia akan exit the repeat tu. Okay. So dia akan exit the repeat statement and then do the next command. Okay. So ini cara tulis dia dalam bentuk flowchart and then ni cara tulis dia dalam bentuk pseudocode. Okay. So dia repeat until that. Okay. And then repeat until and while do iteration. Okay. So sama je lah. Okay, sama je actually. So repeat until and while do tu sama. Okay. So katakanlah you have this data. Okay, so you have this code. Okay, you have this code. Macam mana you nak convert that? Okay, you nak convert that dalam bentuk flowchart. Ataupun you ada flowchart, you nak convert that to programming. Okay. So programming ni buat apa? So first you kena tahulah you nak buat apa. Okay, start count sama dengan 5 at 1 byte. Okay, increment pointer, decrement counter. Okay, maksudnya ni you punya counter lah 5. Okay, so you tambah 1 byte. Okay, you tambah 1 byte, increment pointer. So you punya point tu tambah. Okay, and then you punya decrement counter tu you decrease. Okay, count ni condition dia. Count sama dengan kosong. Tak. Okay, dia akan buat lagi. Add another 1 byte. Okay, and then dia akan tengok check lagi sama dengan kosong. Tak. So dia akan repeat lagi sampai dapat kosong. Okay. So maksudnya dalam ni, so you punya data in. Okay. So maksudnya sekarang you nak tambah, okay, 5 bytes of data ni lah. Alright, you nak tambah 5 bytes of data. Okay, so dia akan tambah lah this one. Okay, 1 and this one tu 25, 12, 15, 1F and 2B. Dia akan tambah. Right? Sehinggalah 5 kali lah. Alright? Sekali, 2 kali, 3 kali, 4 kali, 5 kali. Okay, once dia dah siap 5 kali and then barulah yes. Okay, sebab count dah jadi 0. Okay, so you tengok dekat sini. Okay, you punya mana you punya counter tu? Okay, you punya counter here is CX. Okay, CX 05. Okay, so you punya counter CX, dia akan check for the decrement lah. Okay, so CX akan jadi 04, 03, 02, 01 and then finish. Right? And then dia akan exit the loop. Okay, so itu cara you design the flow chart and relate that into dia punya code. Okay. Okay. Okay, ni yang saya bincang tadi lah. Alright, the purpose of flowchart or pseudocode is to show the program flow and what the program does. Okay. So it is often written in layers in a top-down manner. Okay, code specific to a certain language or operating platform is not described in the pseudocode or flowchart. Okay, one could take a flowchart or pseudocode and any code and code the program in any language. Okay, alright, kita stop dekat sini for 10 minutes and then we will continue after this. So, how about come back at 5:20? 5:20? Alright, any question so far? Ada sebarang soalan?
No, doctor.
Okay, so take a break for until 5:20 and then we will continue. Okay, welcome back. All right, so I will continue a little bit on the next chapter. Okay, so which is about the arithmetic and logic instruction and programs. Okay, so what is arithmetic? So arithmetic is regarding the, of course, the calculation, right, and the logic. So you have before, so you learn about the AND, get, and so on, right? So we will look over here. So a little bit dia akan jadi different skill lah berbanding apa yang you belajar before this. Okay. So dalam chapter ni kita akan belajar lah mengenai macam mana you nak tahu berkenaan 8-bit number and 16-bit, ada unsigned, ada signed numbers, okay. And then you nak convert, okay, between ASCII, pack BCD, unpack BCD. Okay, before this kita belajar mengenai macam mana nak convert binary to decimal, okay, decimal to hex, okay. Kali ini kita belajar mengenai ASCII, pack BCD and unpack BCD, okay. And then ada juga untuk unsigned arithmetic ni, kita ada add, ADC, sub and SPB, okay, multiplication and division, okay. Code BCD arithmetic instruction, you have DAA, DAS, okay, and also rotate, okay, you nak rotate the number, okay, you ada ROR, ROL, RCR, CL, okay, and then also you nak shift the number, right? So dia ada pelbagai command, okay, so we will look after this. Okay, so apakah itu unsigned numbers? Okay, so first kita kena tahulah apakah itu unsigned numbers. So unsigned numbers are defined as data in which all the bits are used to represent data. Okay, so maksudnya semua bit tu, okay, macam you ada 16 bit kan, contoh I bagi 16 bit, alright, you ada 9 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, okay, and then ada A, B, C, D, E, F, okay. Yang semua nama tu digunakan untuk represent data. Tak ada pun yang digunakan untuk tentukan you punya number tu positif ataupun negatif. Okay, kalau sign numbers, nama di depan kalau ada satu, so satu tu maksudnya dia represent pada negative number. Okay, so itu beza dia. Okay, so this applies to the add and sub instructions. No bits are set aside for the positive or negative sign. Okay, between 00 and NFF. Okay, for 8-bit data. Okay, give me a while. Okay, okay, so you ada between 00 to FF, okay, untuk 8-bit data, okay, and then between 0000 to FF for 16-bit data. Okay, so the form for the add instruction, okay, sama je macam you belajar before this, add, okay, and then add and ADC are used to add two operands, okay. The destination operand can be in a register or in memory, okay. The source operand can be a register, in memory or immediate, okay. So you belajar before this kan, dia berada dalam register, memory or immediate, okay, immediate addressing and so on tu. Okay, memory to memory locations operations are never allowed in 86 assembly language. Okay, the instruction could change, okay, ZF, SF, AF, CF or PF bits of the flag register. So dia akan berubah lah, okay, bila you perform add or ADC. Okay, alright, kita tengok for example, show how the flag register is affected by, okay, this one. Okay, so kita ada 0F5, okay, move to AL and then add 0B to AL. Okay, sekarang ni AL akan jadi 0 F5. Okay, and then after that dia akan jadi dia akan tambah dengan 0B ni lah. Okay, so dia akan jadi B plus 5. Okay, so B is 11. Okay, plus 5 jadi 16 kan, so jadi 0 tambah 1. Okay, F dia akan jadi 16. Okay, 0 tambah 1. Okay, so dia akan jadi 100. Okay, so of course you ada additional 1, so you punya carry flag akan jadi 1 lah. Okay, sign flag, okay, 0. Okay, sebab dia akan tengok dekat sini, so you kena convert kepada binary. So you nak tengok D7 sini 0. Okay, so PF, okay, parity flag ada tambah tak dekat sini? Okay, ada tambah from D3 to D4. Okay, ada kan tadi? Okay, dekat sini to that. Okay, D3 to D4 ada, so PF jadi 1. Auxiliary carry flag, auxiliary carry flag yang effect, okay, bila you tambah D3 to D4, okay, akan jadi 1. And PF ni ditengok number of 1. Okay, number of 1. Number of 1 ni jadi 0 lah. Okay, sebab ditengok kat sini number of 1 is 0, so dia even. So bila you ada 1 to even, number of 1 to even, so you punya PF akan jadi 1. Okay, and ZF, okay, the result of the action is 0. Okay, so you akan dapat result semua 0 lah kan. Okay, sebab you dapat you tambah, and then you dapat carry 1, and then the rest is 0. Okay, so you punya result is 0. Okay, so you punya ZF flag become 1. Okay, so program, okay, this program use AH to accumulate carries as the operands are added to AL. Okay. Okay, write a program to calculate the sum of 5 bytes of data. Okay, each byte represents the daily wages of a worker. Okay, this person does not make more than 255. Okay, so maksudnya dia punya number is FF lah. Okay, FF. So kalau you convert, this is in terms of decimal. Okay, decimal you convert to FF. Okay, so you akan dapat, okay, you akan dapat this one. Okay, you akan dapat this one dalam FF lah. Okay, so FF is paling maksimum. Okay, so you kena convert that. Okay, so you kena buat penambahan ni lah. Alright, kena buat penambahan ni. Okay, so this is the program that you should do. Okay, first, apa yang you kena buat? So, number ni, dia akan di-convert. Okay, dia akan di-convert kepada number hex lah oleh assembler. Okay, dia akan di-convert kepada hex. Okay, sebab apa? Sebab default, kalau DB ni, dia akan baca dalam bentuk decimal. As we learned before lah. Okay, so assembler akan convert. Okay, assembler akan convert kepada hex. Okay, so dia akan convert. So 125 jadi 7D, alright. 235 jadi 0EB, okay, and so on. Okay, so dia akan ada loop dekat bawah ni. Okay, dia akan ada loop dekat sini, alright. So what you need to do is, okay, first yang ni added to AL. Okay, you tengok flag change difference. Okay, flag change difference. Okay, bila ini tambah tak ada apa-apa lah. Alright, dia tak ada apa-apa. Okay, now ni you punya counter. Alright, ni counter add 1. Okay, tambah 1. Okay, still dia akan jadi 4, dia akan turun. Okay, and then next dia tambah lagi number. Okay, EB ni tambah dengan 7D. Okay, you akan tengok lah. Alright, dekat sini dapat dia akan ubah tak flag tu. Okay, so dia ubah flag. Okay, so D tambah B, of course lah dia akan tambah flag sebab B is berapa? 11, D is 13 kan. So 13 plus 11. okay, akan jadi 24. Okay, that 24 dah exceed 16. Okay, dah melebihi 16. Okay, so you akan dapat 8 lah. 8 you tambah 1. You tambah 1 and then 7 jadi 8. 8 tambah dengan E. 8 tambah dengan E is 14. So 22. 22 minus 16, you akan dapat 6 lah. Okay, you akan ada carry 1. Okay, sebab tu you punya CF jadi 1. Alright, and then of course you punya CS ni counter akan decrement lah 1 sebab you dah tambah 1 kan. Okay, dia akan loop lagi. Okay, you akan loop lagi. Dan dia tambah dengan C5. Okay, jumlah tadi akan tambah dengan C5. Okay, 68 tambah dengan C5 akan dapat berapa ni? Okay, 13. 13 apa? 13 is D kan? D tambah 1. Okay, tambah 1 dekat sini. Okay, tambah 1 and then 1 tambah dengan 6, 7. Alright, tambah dengan C. Okay, C is 12. 7 tambah 12. Berapa? 7 tambah 12 is 19. Okay. 7, sorry. 68 plus 5. So 13. 13 is D. Okay, D plus 1 here. So C, D plus 6. 13 plus 6 is 6. So dia akan jadi 3 lah. Okay, dia akan jadi 3 dekat sini sepatutnya. Okay, 3D. Okay, dia akan jadi 3D. Okay, and then dia akan proceed lah sehinggalah CX jadi 0. Okay, so then the 0 flag akan become 1. Okay, 0 flag akan become 1. Okay, sebab apa? Sebab 0 flag ni dia akan detect condition of CX. Okay, causing the jump not 0 to fall through. Okay, so bila dah tu dia akan, and then dia punya result akan di-save lah, okay, in the data segment. Okay. Alright, due to pipelining, it is strongly recommended that the following lines of the program to be replaced. Okay. Okay, so ni kegunaan, alright. Okay, ni kegunaan ADC lah, alright. ADC maksudnya instruction in reality means add 00 plus AH and CF and replace the results in AH. Okay, so maksudnya you tambah daripada apa yang you dapat dekat sini tadi, dekat CF ni. Okay, so CF ni dia akan tambah, maksudnya carry flag you punya AH punya value, okay, akan ditambah, okay, akan ditambah dengan value yang AH tadi. Okay, so maksudnya kalau AH 0, okay, so now the condition become yang value ni tambah dengan CF tambah 1, okay, tambah dengan initial value of AH, you akan dapat 1. Okay, so ini menggantikan, okay, jump punya instruction ni. Okay, jump punya instruction. Okay, so ini kegunaan ADC lah. So macam mana you nak gunakan ADC tu? Maksudnya ADC ni dia akan tambah dengan you punya carry flag. Okay. So kita akan revise balik benda ni later. Alright. Kita akan revise balik benda ni later. Okay, because I need to show you the whole program, which is not here, right? Okay, also this program is also not here as well. I cannot discuss with you right now. Okay, kita teruskan kepada subtraction. Okay. So kita tengok kepada subtraction. In subtraction, 86 processor use 2's complement. Okay. Internal adder circuitry performs the subtraction command. Okay. So subtraction ni kita gunakan sub lah. Okay, sub instruction. Before this, you nak buat subtraction, okay, you kena pakai SUB punya ni, baru dia akan initiate the 2's complement tu. Okay. Okay. So ni cara dia buat perform subtraction. Okay. Okay. So kita tengok dekat sini sebagai contoh. Show the steps involved in the following. Okay. Dia nak subtract kat sini BH to AL. Okay. Maksudnya BH ni tolak dengan AL lah. Okay. So AL tolak BH. Right. So 3F. Okay. For example 3F here tolak 23. Okay. Secara yang tolak, you tak boleh tolak direct. Okay, you kena buat perform the 2's complement. Okay, maksudnya you kena invert all of this number into apa ni, yang 1 jadi 0 and 0 jadi 1. Alright. And then after that, okay, barulah you tambah 1. Okay, barulah you tambah 1. Okay. So ini dia dah invert, dah tambah 1 lah. Sepatutnya 1 1 0 1 1 1 0 0. Okay, dia tambah 1 kan, 1 1 0 1 and 1 1 0 1. Okay. Okay, you perform the addition, okay, you akan dapat this result. Okay. So dia dapat this result. Okay, yang this one, okay, dia akan jadi berapa ni? Okay, 1 and then this 8 plus 4 12. 12C lah. Okay, dapat 1C. Okay. Okay. Alright. Dia ada carry. Dia ada carry over. Okay. So, apa dia cakap kat sini? Okay, apa dia cakap kat sini? Alright. Dia akan dia akan tengok kat sini, the flag will be set as follows: CF0, ZF0, AF0, PF0 and SF0. Okay. The programmer must look at the carry flag, okay, not the sign flag, to determine if the result is positive or negative. Okay. So you punya number ni, is it negative or positive? Okay. So this number, okay, this number is actually positive. Okay. Why? Because this 3F is bigger than 23. Okay. So sebab this one is bigger than dia punya ni lah, yang bawah tu. Alright. Okay, so you akan dapat the result is positive. Although you have a carry over here. Okay. So dia kata after the execution is CF is 0, the result is positive. If CF is 1, the result is negative and the destination have the 2's complement of the result. Okay. Okay, so dia kena tengok if this number, dia akan check lah. Okay, this number is bigger than this, of course the result will be positive. Okay. Okay, kita ada juga NOT. Okay, NOT. NOT performs the 1's complement of the operand. Okay, the operand is incremented to get the 2's complement. Okay, first complement dia invert 0 jadi 1 and 1 become 0. And then dia nak jadi 2's complement tambah 1 kan. So you increment lah. Okay. Sama juga konsep dia. Macam you buat tadilah you buat the subtraction tadi. Okay, you buat the subtraction. Okay. katakan you have this one. Okay. Okay, this code. Okay, data 1 for C and then data 2 is 6E. Okay, so you nak subtract data 1 dengan data 2. Okay, so sekarang ni, okay, you punya result negatif ke positif? You punya result negatif or positif? Anyone? Senyap semua tidur ke? Tak ada orang? Hello, anyone?
Ada, doktor.
Senyap
Ada.
Saya tanya negatif ke positif? Dapat result negatif ke positif? Pasal subtract ni.
Negatif.
Negatif. Sebab apa? Sebab apa dia negatif?
Nombor kecil tak ada nombor besar.
Yelah. 6E ni lagi besar. So 6 nak 6 kan, ni 4. Alright. So dapat negatif lah resultnya. Alright. So if you get the negative, okay, so you punya CF akan jadi 1. Alright. Okay. So there ada jump instruction over here. JNC ni. Okay. Jump to next. Okay. Dia akan jump pada next. Okay. Kalau dia punya CF ni 0. Okay. CF ni 0. Okay. Dia akan jump to next. Kalau CF is 1, then dia akan buat first complement. Okay. Dia akan buat first complement and then increment to get the second complement. Okay. So you tengok. Kat sini result positif atau negatif? So dapat negatif. So CF is 1 lah. Okay. CF is 1. So DH ni dia akan cari the first complement. Okay. Apa you punya result kat sini? Okay. This one kan? Okay. You akan dapat 22. You akan dapat 22. You akan dapat your result. Okay. Your result is 1101 and 1110. Okay. So you akan dapat this result. Then dia akan buat the first complement of that. Okay, dia akan buat the first complement of that. Okay, cuba kita tengok boleh. Okay, 4C. Okay, ni 4C. Alright, dia akan ada 6E. Alright, dia akan ada 6E kat sini. So kita tengok dia tambah. Betul ke ni? So 6E 1001 0001. Okay, ditambah 1 dia akan jadi 0010. Okay, betul, 1001. Okay, so kita tambah ni 0111. Okay, and 1011. Okay, betul. Okay, apa you punya result kat sini? Sepatutnya dapat 22 kan, betul tak? Sepatutnya dapat 22, tapi value ni tak sama dengan 22. Minus 22. Okay, minus 22 sepatutnya dapat. Okay, you tengok kat sini. Dia punya result kat sini berapa? Sini 842. So 842 is 14. 14 is E. D. Okay. So 14. So 14 is E. Okay. E. So you dapat kat sini is E. Okay. E dekat sini you dapat 841. 13. So 13 is D. Okay. So you dapat result DE. So you tak dapat 22. Okay. So macam mana you nak fix that? Okay, sebab tu you kena buat, okay, you kena perform balik the first complement and get to the second complement. So you need to invert this, alright, you need to invert this, okay, not TH akan invert, okay, dia akan invert this one, okay, jadi 0, 0, 1, 0, okay, and then 0, 0, 0, 1, and then ditambah 1, of course you akan dapat 0, 0, 1, 0, 0, 0, 1, 0, so you akan dapat 22. Okay, so you akan dapat result yang betul lah after you perform this operation. Okay, dapat tak? Ada sebarang soalan? Tak ada soalan? Clear? Okay, we move to last one. Okay, kita tengok pada SBB. Okay, SBB. So macam tadi, you ada add ADC kan. ADC tu tambah dia punya value of the flag. Okay, kita tengok apa beza dengan SBB ni. Okay. Okay, so SBB is used for multi-byte. Okay, multi-words number. Okay, it will take care of the borrow of the lower operand. If the carry flag is 0, the SBB works like sub. Okay, sama je. Kalau carry flag is 0. But kalau carry flag is 1, SBB subtracts 1 from the result. Okay. The pointer data PTR specifier directive is widely used to specify the size of the operand, then it differs from the defined size. Okay, kita tengok dekat sini. Okay, the last example. Okay, so word pointer. So similar as us to use the word operand. So kita dah belajar double word kan. Double word, you boleh ada ni lah. You boleh ada 4 double. So this one 4 and another 4. So you ada 8 bytes. Okay, 8 bytes of data. Okay. This one ada 4 byte and another 4 byte. So you have double word. Okay. And then, so you tambah move. Okay. And then you subtract. Okay, you want to subtract these two. Okay. Alright. And then save the results. Okay. Okay, move the results. Sekarang ni, apa yang dibuat ialah, okay, so kalau you punya AX, you boleh accommodate paling maksimum pun 4 bytes of data, right? 4 bytes of data. Okay, macam ni that 16 bit lah, okay, 16 bit. So, dia boleh accommodate 62F lah, 62F. 62FA. Okay. So dekat sini dia akan ambil juga daripada data B ni 963B. Okay. So dia akan tolak 62FA tolak dengan 963B. Okay. Apa yang you dapat? Dia akan dapat negative number. Alright, sebab B, okay, B is bigger than data A. Alright. And then you nak simpan ni dalam result. Okay. You tengok dekat sini, you tengok ni, you dapat nilai dia CCBF. Okay. Sebab this number is negative, so you punya carry flag akan jadi 1. Okay. So, bila you buat SBB, okay, bila you buat SBB, AX tadi, okay, dia akan jadi what we call that as 62. Yang ni dia akan ambil yang ni, okay. Yang ni word PTR data A plus 2 ni, okay, dia akan ambil yang depan ni. Okay, dia akan ambil yang depan 625. Okay. Kalau you nak specify, okay, word PTR data A yang belakang, okay, yang depan you kena plus 2. Okay, plus 2, dia akan ambil yang depan ni. Okay, 6 to 5 and then dia subtract dengan yang ni, 4, 1, 2. Okay. Okay, apa terjadi kat sini? Dia gunakan SBB. Okay. So, bila dia perform this subtraction, okay, carry flag akan jadi 1. So, bila you pakai command SBB, so dia indicate. So, you punya CF is already 1. So, you punya AX, okay, you punya AX akan jadi 6 to 5 minus 4, 1, 2 minus 1. Dia akan tolak 1 lah. Okay, kalau tak, dia tak ada tolak 1 ni. Dia 6 to 5 tolak 4, 1, 2 saja. Okay, so you akan dapat 2, 1, 2. Okay, then the result akan jadi macam ni lah. Okay, 2, 1, 2 CCBF. Okay, tadi you dapatkan yang ni tolak yang ni, you akan dapat CCBF. Okay, so because of the carry flag tadi, yang menyebabkan you akan dapat results yang depan ni berubah. Okay, 2, 1, 2. Okay, to addition and subtraction. Okay, yang you dah learn today. Okay, add dengan ADC and sub dengan SBB. Okay, kita akan tengok lagi later berkenaan contoh programming tu lah. Right? Untuk addition dengan apa tu, yang ADC tadi. Okay, sekarang soalan so far. Okay, we will continue later with ni lah, multiplication and division. Alright. Okay, so as usual, so let's turn on the camera for attendance today. Semua angkat tangan ni, tak ada yang angkat kamera. Patut saya panggil senyap tadi. Ruben, how are you?
I'm good, doctor. Good.
Okay, so let's count from 10. Right? 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Thank you, Fazana. Alright. Okay, see you on Thursday. Alright. So, you punya homework tu I dah extend I think until end of this week. Alright. So, you have another assignment coming as well. So, make sure you complete that. Okay. And another thing, so remember your project.
Okay, doktor.
The project kita akan discuss on the maybe on week 13 and week 14. Okay, and next week maybe we will have extensive revision as well. Okay, so before your test 2. Okay, so make sure that you boleh buat lah better from test 1. Okay, this time. Okay. Alright. Sebarang soalan before we leave? Okay, no question. Okay, thank you all. Alright.
Thank you, doktor.
Thank you, doctor.
Thank you, doktor.
Welcome.
Thank you, doktor.
Thank you, doctor.